I don't lose everything. And I am going to defer to Ben, who is going to give us kind of a summary of what was going on and what he observed there. So, Ben, go ahead.
Okay. So as far as I know, Kazia and Monty were the only other ones from here that were at the show.
I think there were a few others. I had the state director from Washington helping me out because I was in Colorado Springs learning how to debunk pictures.
Was that another Tom? Now what was
No,
his?
it was Sue Countess.
Oh, okay. I didn't meet her. Um, okay. So there were five or six presenters that were very good, and uh, I have a quite a background in this, but they all added things to my knowledge. There was Britt Elders, and she spoke of her investigation of the Billy Meyer case of 1975. Stanley Milford Jr. gave us amazing stories from his experience, and now a book which I have read about his work as a Navajo Ranger in New Mexico. Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp spoke from both sides of the disclosure controversy all the way back to Bob Lazar in 1988. And Luis Elizondo revealed much of his work in the Defense Intelligence Agency and ATIP with a fact-filled presentation on the big screen. Danny Sheehan wrapped it up with a 2-hour lecture of the political history of the United States, mostly from the 30s to the 90s, and his lifelong legal work on the progressive side of decades of contentious issues. So, all right, here we go. So Britt Elders kicked this all off, which is now claimed to be the second biggest UFO conference in the country, behind Contact in the Desert. And she talked about Billy Meyer's accounts of hearing voices in his head telling him to go out in his fields where a flying saucer landed, and it produced a human-looking female that sat and told him of the history of her civilization from the Pleiades star system and its relevance to our own future. She said, quote, "Our forefathers are your forefathers." These went on visits for months as Britt, Wendell Stevens, and other major researchers examined the data and many photographs taken with a 35 millimeter camera, as well as some 8 millimeter film. The Pleiadians had destroyed their first home planet, but have made much progress, obviously, as they're able to get here from there, which is 700 light years away. Sam Jassy, the Pleiadian, claimed that 105 civilizations from all over the galaxy have visited Earth. Britt now, back then, was a skeptic at first, but has been in contact with Billy for decades, now being a major spokesperson for the whole thing and a co-author of the best book on the phenomenon. She reports that her Pleiadian people notice a smell about humans that they have grown to dislike. Now, Samjasi looks like a normal human except for her earlobes, which are 4 inches long and hang about down to her chin. Well, that'd be a giveaway. She asked, "Does creation require a creator?" At the mic, I asked Britt if she had known William Everone and admitted she, yes, was fond of the visionary artist. I got to explain that in 2015, he was commissioned by the Chico City Council to paint 2 murals in the town square, depicting the trolley cars that used to run down the main street more than a century ago. A few years later, he added a small flying saucer to the sky of the mural visible from the steps of the main post office. This is as downtown as you can get in Chico. Now, the next guy, Working on the Navajo reservation gave Stanley Milford Jr. much insight to the other dimensions that hover around our consensus reality. He started with a father that was an exceptional athlete, touted as the best hoop dancer in Oklahoma. That's not the hula hoop, it's way better. And once sunk 100 basketball free throws in a row, winning a big trophy. Stanley has 6 sisters and now likes to play heavy metal music on an electric guitar. While driving one time, he saw a wolf-like skinwalker with red eyes that followed his car. He was called to investigate a case where coins were falling from the ceiling in a Navajo office. Quarters, dimes, and nickels all landed inexplicably heads up. This is similar to the manifesting of a gray ash-like substance by some gurus in India, notably Sai Baba. I've seen videos of that stuff. It's pretty amazing. Several of these coin-dropping events happened. One even with coins falling on an investigator's head while Stanley watched. He's also seen psychokinesis activity like an 8-inch knife flying off a shelf across a room. Questions yet? No. Okay. George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell revealed secrets about government activity with UFOs in their podcast, Weaponized, which won an award from the Associated Press 9 times. They were rated the #1 science podcast, while Neil deGrasse Tyson was back at #6. He also explained how the congressional hearings on UAP were a joke, with the chairperson, Sean Kirkpatrick, muzzling evidence. Well, you've noticed he's gone. He was gone shortly after that, but I think he was hired just to put those lies out to us anyway. The extensive group of aeronautical analysts called AARO, All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, was created in 2022 to investigate all kinds of UAP, but appears to be a reboot of Project Blue Book, which was created in the 1950s and 60s to publicly debunk any UFOs reported to the government. Now, my reading of dozens of pages of highly technical data on the AARO website only revealed cases that they could debunk with language few, even highly educated people would understand. I think that's intentional. They didn't make it user-friendly at all for us to understand what they're doing. Now, George took the position on disclosure that it should be gradual and a measured release, because otherwise the public could just not tolerate it, integrate it, sorry. Jeremy stated he wanted it all just thrown out there and let it fall where it may. Neither of these men worked inside the government's numerous agencies set up to corral this information, classified. Now, they did agree, however, that Dr. Colm Kelleher and James Lakotsky were accurate in claiming that the United States were in possession of a flying craft of unknown origin, capable of performance far beyond anything earthbound. Further material can be found by searching for interviews with Alexander Wiggins and especially Matthew Brown. At this point, the knee-jerk reactions of the DIA appear to preclude any revelation of substance on this matter. Now, Luis Elizondo has been one of the key figures in government involvement in UAP for at least 15 years, being the director of ATIP under the DIA. He resigned in 2017, which is why he can speak to these conferences right to the edge of classified information. His 2024 book, Imminent, explains his upbringing, education, and career in military intelligence that brought him to be trusted somewhat by both sides in this disclosure war. His lively and candid stage presence helped us understand spacecraft in more detail as well, as he minored in mathematics in college and took his work very seriously from a young age. He said the size limitation on most saucers is around 40 feet because of the power supply. Cylindrical or oval-shaped craft may have 2 power sources, and triangular ones as many as 5. The bubble of anti-gravity and altered space-time extends outside the craft, along with radiation when the power supply is powered up, and it's been responsible for injury and death to military personnel. The view of outside the craft appears to be in slow motion to the beings inside. U.S. retrieval of crashed UFOs began way before Roswell, with the Magenta, Italy incident in 1933. A crashed saucer was seized from the Italians and brought to the United States. We don't know whatever happened to it. Elizondo said he has been trained in remote viewing as well, so he can find out more. He reminded us that unexplained drone incidents happened before the recent New Jersey flap with sightings in 2019 in Nebraska, Kansas, and Colorado. He appears to be fearless and will be important to the disclosure process in the future. Questions yet? Not yet. All right. Danny Sheehan is the most politically connected of any of these important figures, with his legal history going back to Watergate, Daniel Ellsberg, and the Iran-Contra affair. In the last several years, he's been the attorney defending Luis Elizondo against government efforts to silence him, and is now suing Congress to get the National Defense Authorization Act, the NDAA, passed with the inclusion of amendments that were originally in the bill about disclosure requirements and were taken out by resistant representatives. That was more than a year ago. He worked with Stephen Greer on the Disclosure Project, and a most interesting case he took on was in the early 90s with John Mack. When he was at Harvard, the military sent him people who had reported aliens. To the establishment's dismay, he found them mentally normal. The New England Journal of Medicine refused to publish that finding, so Mack published them himself, and Harvard went bananas. So Danny had to defend him in court, and he claimed that the dean of the medical school, Arnold Reldman, was called to the stand, whereupon he said, "We cannot believe any of this non-human intelligence." Well, we know different now. He went on, in December of 1991, Khrushchev dissolved the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. Soon after, our Senate passed the 64-page UAP Control Disclosure Act, and there is still uncertainty about how this is to be implemented. And as much as I have studied this particular period of history, much of what Danny comes up with is new to me. He was closer to all this than anyone else I know has been willing to admit. So why is all this relevant to my education about UFOs and government? Well, a few months ago, I signed on to the group in Danny's New Paradigm Institute called Citizens for Disclosure. I had seen him publicly for at least 11 years, but I did not expect to see him at McMinnville. Coincidentally, I found myself sitting within arm's length of him in the first lecture. And afterwards, I stepped up and introduced myself, offering to be liaison between him and Rick Larson, our congressional rep here in the 2nd District in Washington, to assist in getting information on UAP into Congress, ultimately to the 11 members currently listed as members of the UAP caucus. Sarah, his wife of 48 years, became interested in my photographic work as I compose portraits of them right on the spot. Just a little more here.
Okay, Ben, we'll let you finish up and then we'll
Yeah,
we'll move on. And
one more paragraph here. I didn't even get to talking about the parade down Main Street on Saturday with everything out of this world. It led several of the presenters here to comment that the conference is the most fun of any in the country. Now, I made a slideshow of last year's event with Jimmy Buffett's song Desdemona's Building a Rocket Ship that can be accessed on Vimeo by request to me. It was a great opportunity, this whole thing, to get deeper down the rabbit hole with what will be our future before most people understand what is at stake here. I recommend this conference highly for next May as a quick way to get up to speed with developments with our visiting neighbors and the progress of our integration into our galactic family. There you go.
thank you, Ben. That was an excellent summary of what went on at UFO Fest. I know that when I heard from Sue, our Washington counterpart, she said it was a great conference as well. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'll give a little break here. I'll talk about a couple of things that I wanted to talk about, and then if anybody else wants to share more about their experience, that will be great. I thought that it would be a little bit fun to see what I was doing when I missed the conference here. So I'm going to go back and let's see. There's our friend Monty and Jeremy Corbell. Okay. Cell phone cameras. Oops. There we go. Okay. Some background. 93% of all photos submitted to MUFON are taken using cell phone cameras. They're convenient and they offer an immediate opportunity to capture something that you observe. The zoom feature on all of our cell phones allows people to perceive a magnified visual of what they are focusing on. However, got to remember there's several caveats when you're relying on cell phones to capture accurate images. A little bit about the process of what a cell phone does. When a cell phone captures an image, it uses a CMOS sensor, which is complementary metal oxide semiconductor, which consists of millions of light-sensitive pixels. Each one of our phones has got some rating as to how many pixels or megapixels it can take in a picture. And they convert light into electrical signals. And the electrical signals are then processed by the phone's internal computer to create a digital image. Now, modern cell phones use a sophisticated noise reduction software algorithm to enhance the image that's collected. The program algorithms process multiple images of one photo. So you might hear one click on your cell phone, but it's usually taking 3 to 6 or even more images in order to create a perfect, balanced HDR or high dynamic range image. What the software does is it adjusts for brightness, sharpness, and color of the multiple images that are taken, and it results in an image that attempts to balance all of these qualities into equal tones, so essentially trying to make it gray, producing a final picture. So-called anomalies that the software thinks is an anomaly will be left out. That's kind of a problem because if you're trying to take a picture and it only shows up momentarily, whatever it is might be left out. Now, what I thought I would do is show you how different softwares in the cell phone cameras make adjustments and leave out certain features. Uh, the image is best represented in the bottom right, which is labeled F. And if you take a quick look at some of the others, and I'll throw up several examples here, it shows you how colors are changed, some details are changed, and in fact, it will even sometimes manufacture things that aren't there because it thinks it is. Let me put up another set for you to look at. Here again, F is probably the most accurate representation, and the other software does their thing to alter color, details. Uh, Look at the clouds for one. Sometimes they change those and their locations, and sometimes it thinks it's an anomaly, sometimes it isn't. The tree itself shows some differences in what the software does. Here again, same reference, lower right, F, and how some of the colors and shades and details are altered and changed.
Dean, are you saying that these six different images are from different cell phones?
Yep.
Okay.
And the imaging software is different in each of them.
So you get what you pay for, essentially, huh?
Uh, and even if you pay for it, it's probably not going to give you what you want. And I'll come to that in a minute. Here again,
Wow.
some details are changed, some colors are changed, all from same exact spot of different cell phones. And it's the conclusion of many experts, such as MUFON's Mark D'Antonio, who was putting on the seminar that I went to, that the cell phone images are perfect for capturing events you want to remember, but they fall short of accurately capturing what we observe directly. And using today's cell phone software, even though every day the software is being improved, film remains the best media for photographic evidence collection. 35 millimeter is uh, much larger than what you would see in a cell phone. A cell phone, the CMOS area is about maybe 6 centimeters by 8 centimeters. And even if you are using the zoom feature, all you are doing is kind of taking the pixels from one area and making them larger. It's not really making the image clearer. Uh, Again, 35 millimeter film, you got 35 millimeters by 35 instead of 6 by 8. So it captures much more. And if you uh, enlarge it, you get much more detail. Okay. A case that was given to me uh, took place in West Virginia. I'll go through some of the details of it. It was presented as a case that the group in West Virginia kind of just let it slide and didn't address. And so I'm part of a group that gets these cases. And what I'm going to do is I'll give you an introduction. I'll show you the video, and then we can talk a little bit about it and go back to our UFO fest if we want. Okay. A report from West Virginia was given to me for investigation. A witness observed an unidentified light, object, whatever. The witness was a passenger aboard an airliner traveling at 30,000 feet. The captain of the airliner alerted passengers to a thunderstorm which was visible out their windows, and he said it'd be real interesting to watch as they passed through it and around it. The witness thought that was a good idea and recorded the event using an old cell phone camera and captured something that he could not explain after he went back and reviewed it. I'm going to show you the video. It's about 2 minutes long, and at about halfway point, about 110, you'll see what caused the witness to kind of have a little bit of pause as to what he was looking at. So I'm going to stop sharing this, and I will go to the video. And I'll get it started. Can everybody see that black screen of the video?
No.
No? Okay, we'll get that up 2 seconds here.
No, I saw Benjamin.
Well, here we go.
There you go.
Okay. Uh, it's it was recorded on a very, very old cell phone. I think the name was Trios or something like that. And the video itself is in like a 3G2 format, which is so old it doesn't allow a lot of our updated software to run it. So I was able to get video. There's no audio with this, but there is video, which is all we want to see. And this is about 2 minutes long, 2:05. Here it is. And right about here, about halfway, you'll see what doesn't match what you've been watching in the thunderstorm. So here we go. Obviously, it happened at night. We're getting there.
Looks like it's in a circular pattern the way it
Yep.
goes.
Okay, coming up here, you'll see what gave him pause.
Ah.
And the rest of the video is just localized thunder strikes and like that. Go back here. That was interesting. Let's see if I can go back here. All right. For those of you who missed it, this is where it first appeared in the video frame. Move to here. And then kind of disappeared. And after I looked at it, I'll get rid of this. I did some motion detector on it. I did some research. And believe it or not, what he captured was ball lightning. And it's kind of an unusual effect to catch on film. If you go to YouTube, you can see several people have captured it, and it looks exactly like that. And of course, a lot of the uh, evidence that would suggest that is it's a thunderstorm and they're flying through it. And that would be the type of situation where you're seeing the cloud to cloud lightning where this would show up. People still don't know why or what the conditions are that cause it, but that was an instance where it might have looked like a sphere or an orb going through there, but it was ball lightning. So I thought that was kind of an interesting case to see because there aren't too many amateur captures of ball lightning like that. A lot of times it happens on the ground and you see ball lightning on the ground, but rarely in the sky. Okay. Does anybody have any questions on that, or would you like to go back to discuss what happened at McMinnville, or talk about the camera training I did?
The camera training, I'm interested in something.
Sure.
Um, did they discuss on how to get the metadata downloaded? Because that's always a problem with witnesses, is they send a copy that doesn't include the proper metadata.
If it's really hard unless you get the original video, John, you can't get that original metadata very easily. Sometimes our laptop software allows us to do it. Many times it won't. But and it depends on what they captured it on too, because there are some metadata platforms that retain the original stuff for us to look at. So,
Well, Tom had a send directions to get it off an iPhone, but there was nothing about a Samsung phone. And
oh, if you go to metadata to go or some of the other free ones like that, it'll extract it from any kind.
it'll extract it, but it's not the proper ones. You can tell by the date. It's the date that they copied it, not the
Yeah,
date they took it originally.
yeah, you have to really tweak around with it, and it depends. I found that some are even better than metadata to go, and I'll send
Yeah.
you those links.
Because I find that takes a lot of back and forth between the witnesses trying to get the correct metadata.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Okay.
Oh, while I think about it, Leon, would you like to present your case that I hear you've been putting together next month?
I'll do it next month,
Yeah,
definitely.
next month, not now.
It's gonna be even bigger than what it was when I first initially did it. So I've been working on it, and my wife's helping me out with it.
Yeah,
I've
Monty gave
had a
us a
lot of
teaser.
I've had a lot of luck with getting metadata off of Samsung's using Invisor.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
yeah.
I've got these are the ones that I use. I use Photos XIF editor.
Yes, that's a good one too.
I use Metafo,
Mm-hmm.
Invisor, and every now and then I'll use where is that other one? The one that you suggested the last time in
Oh,
your
metadata to go.
yeah, metadata to go. That one
And you
works
know
out
what?
pretty
I
good
think they've
sometimes
kind
too.
of altered what you get for free. I don't think that's as uh, effective or detailed as it used to be.
Yeah, I like Invisor. That
Yeah.
works pretty good, and you can compare it to things. So it's a little hard to work with sometimes, and I skip from each one of them, but I usually get it. And I'm pretty good about getting my witnesses to give me their actual copies, even if I have to go down to their place and take it from their platform and put
Hmm.
it directly onto mine. So there's no question about, where did it come from? Well, I took it directly from the source, camera, the computer, or whatever like that, and then put it directly onto mine. So there's nothing in between there.
I found out that sometimes if they take it on a cell phone and they text it to you, you don't lose the metadata that way either.
No, no.
Oh, how's
It's
how
it,
how
it's a little harder to get because my last one was 83,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
okay.
Yep.
So it took a while to get, but I finally got it. It's the one that I showed you the last time. So
Yeah, and sometimes if the best they can do, because if you get these huge files, they might have to send them up to the cloud and share them with you too.
yeah, you could do Dropbox or you
Yeah.
could do Chrome. What was that? Google, what's it called? Google what? Drive. Yeah, Google Drive or sometimes you just go Dropbox. That I've used both platforms before, and it's usually generated by the witness, not yourself. You just accept it.
Yep. Exactly.
Leon, what was that Envisor you said?
Yeah.
Yes, Invisor.
How do you spell it? Is that E-N or
It's
N-V-I-N? Okay,
INVISOR.
okay.
And
Uh,
then
So
Metafo.
is another one.
What's that?
Advisor more for digital video, and all the other platforms are pretty much for just photo.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
There's
Yeah.
a big difference between both because most metadata platforms don't care about uh, video,
Yeah.
and you have to get video specific XIF metadata um, lookups type platforms, and a lot of them you can actually change the metadata in it, so you got to be real careful not to
Yeah.
do.
Oh,
Okay,
good.
then I'm going to count on you to give part of our meeting next month with your presentation.
Sounds good to me.
I'm going to contact you by email. I won't just spring it on you.
No, I'll be ready by then. I'm close to it anyway.
Okay.
But I want to have a good presentation and a good layout on and how I'm going to do it. I've been busy with a lot of stuff. You've been busy, and it's just been crazy. And then I was able to go to McMinnville for a few hours. Took my sister-in-law and brother-in-law down there. We stayed up there for a couple hours, and I happened to bump into uh, George Knapp. Talked to him a little bit. So
Next early next month, I'm going to go to the Cincinnati MUFON symposium. Well, I have to go, but I'll be there and I'll see what I can track down for everybody and share it next meeting as well. Because I'm sure there'll be some folks there that I can just pigeonhole and maybe get some guest speakers set up for us.
yeah, that'd be good. Also, you kind of let us know what other classes as far as photo analysis and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's going to be an annual thing, so I'll give you the heads up for the next one that comes on. It's put on by the state director of Colorado, who happens to also be our regional director, who is kind of like make sure I know what I'm doing too. And this was the first one. They haven't put them on before. They never have. So he learned from this one. Mark D'Antonio was there. He's the one who was the main contributor. And I'll let everybody know, especially I'm hoping to have more investigators next year, and I'll send you the links to go to it. It does cost a little money. Colorado, that's a huge organization. We get together and we chat and like that, and I'm begging for donations for my stickers. They have thousands of dollars in their coffers, and they get all over the state. So anyway, Uh, but yes, I will let you know if there's any other classes coming up, and I'll share the links that I got from the class with my investigators as to how to do some really cool photo analysis so you can break down some stuff and look to see if something's been altered or not. It's really pretty interesting stuff. Of course, got to give it to me. This class took place in Cripple Creek, Colorado, which is about 10,000 plus feet in altitude. And I was looking for that oxygen mask to drop down from my rent-a-car because it was pretty high up.
Quick question on your the camera stuff. Like, what about the rings and the high def cameras? Are they better to be hardwired, or does the Wi-Fi lose a lot of data that way too?
Uh, it all depends on the software. It doesn't matter if it's Wi-Fi or hardwired. It's whatever that processing algorithm does with the info. I saw some instances where maybe there was an object or a speck in one of the multiple frames that were taken, and the software just eliminated it. And so lots of times people say, well, didn't you see it? I took this picture. It's right there. And you're looking at it, and there's nothing there. You can't see it. So it depends on the age of the phone, depends on the software. They're getting better. I mean, the newer the phone, the better it is. But still, the zoom feature itself is just making the pixel bigger. It's not really giving you any finer detail.
I just happened to capture some stuff on my ring, and I sent it to Monty. But yeah, I was just kind of curious what the difference between the phone and the rings and the other cameras are
Well, I think a good indication is what's the picture, the pixel size.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Does anybody have any more UFO Fest events they want to share their experiences? Pamela.
So I went to the breakfast, and thank you guys for mentioning it. I think I just squeezed in getting a ticket to it, and it was fascinating. For my podcast, I was able to get everybody's direct contact and such. So thank you. Um, that was huge. But one of I it was interesting to watch Elizondo in action because he is such a professional in his field. And to see how the table responded and all the information he was able to get from everybody at the table before he said anything. So that was fascinating. I learned something. But the other parts were um, how just the moment because the Matthew Brown interview, the final one had dropped, the week before, and just the intensity of the moment. And so I want to encourage folks, to kind of have that moment with some of these speakers was outstanding. And I am so sorry. I was at Stanley's presentation and wanted to connect with everyone who was there, and just nobody was at the table at the moment I was at the table. Lots of people were at the MUFON table until I went down there, and I waited for a little bit, and it was like it was just everybody's break, and I needed to get back to Portland. So I'm sorry I missed y'all, but I did try. I attempted it. Anyway, I was really impressed at the conference, and how many people were there. I did not expect the kind of numbers.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, it's huge,
it
and
is.
uh,
Yeah.
it's getting to be bigger every year. And case in point, the speakers we got this time.
It's
It,
so
it keeps
impressive.
it keeps building up. Oh, I should
Mhm.
tell you, Ben, I didn't think of it at the time. There is a lobbyist in Washington, D.C. for the UFO committee.
And who
So
is that?
I'd have to look up his name. I forgot what he is, but there is a
Steve Bassett.
yeah, there is
Steve
a
Bassett is the official lobbyist. He is registered officially and
yep,
such,
yep,
and is working with Danny.
yeah. So
Okay,
that there
sure,
is
I
an
know him.
official lobbyist to go through.
Uh-huh.
Again, a reminder, I put my email address at the top of the chat page. Uh, Email me your mailing address, your full name. You'll get a wonderful Oregon MUFON sticker. I'll mail it to you. Just give me your name and address. And if you feel so inclined to give us a couple of bucks, that would be great too.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Hey, Monty,
Yeah,
did you feel like telling the group
I
about
do.
your visit to Seal Rock?
I do. I can't hardly wait.
Well, tell them a little bit about that evening and what my purpose was for you to be here and whether it was accomplished or not and what you felt like.
Perfect.
I'd be glad to. I wish we could say that we saw a tic tac or a triangle or something akin to that. But in my mind, what we did see was equally important. And the story goes like this. Leon invited me to come down to his place on the coast. And I arrived a couple hours before sunset, and we set up and did a lot of conversation. And he told me where he thought I ought to be looking in the nighttime sky. So sunset occurred, and then we waited a couple more hours, and at about that time, uh, we were studying the northern sky off to the northwest, and about 10 or 15 degrees, maybe 20 degrees to the right of where I was looking exactly, there was a serious bright illumination in the sky that was clearly something that didn't intend to be there normally. And as a result, it surprised me for sure. And Leon asked me if I saw that, and I said, "You bet I saw that." That it was almost blinding. And so that was the event that he had been witnessing on occasion in the same area of the sky, which is why we knew to look in that area. And
And
there was absolutely nothing there before or after the flash.
could you discount that it was like a part of the meteor shower that
Well,
was going through there?
absolutely. Meteors will give you a trace of where they're going, and they'll fade out when they tip across the sky. But
Unless it's coming right
theoretically,
at you.
if if
It'd
if
be
it
there
weren't coming
longer if
right
it
at
was
us, why
coming
didn't
at
it
you.
hit us?
Well,
Because
it burns
each
up.
one that we saw that night, and there was I'd say three solid ones for sure, but the brightest one was the last one before Money had to go home. Um, each one of them displayed the same thing. The odds of a meteor coming directly at us three times from the same area, it's pretty rare. In
Yeah.
Was it kind
addition
of
to
the same?
that, in addition to that, this is something that I've been observing since I've been here, or actually started looking for the past 3 years. And it happens quite frequently throughout the year, not just in the summertime or in the wintertime or the spring or the fall. It's a consistent thing. So,
What's your location? Because I'm on the coast also.
Seal Rock, mile marker 151.5.
Leon South.
Tillamook, yeah. Yeah, we used to
Um,
live in Netarts.
Leon, were you able to at any time maybe look at them through night vision?
That's what I'm doing now.
Okay.
When I get the chance to and record with my night vision. I've got like a Gen 4 or 5 night vision goggles that also record
Hmm.
in color and in two different spectrums of night vision. So that's a cool thing about
Okay, I
IR
was going
and
to
night
say if you
vision.
didn't, I'd give you the one we have for the state investigator.
Oh, that'd be great too. Is it larger? Because mine's more like a
It's more
saucer.
like handheld.
Yeah, mine's the same way.
Okay.
Leon, a
Double.
question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Was that Ross Colcart that I sent you the video of him talking about the flash of light? Well, anyway, I'm pretty sure it was Ross Colcart.
I think so.
Was describing uh, sightings from around the world that he has been in communication with, and he described one that was a bright flash of light followed by an orb. And we're kind of the opinion that this, there's a possibility that this could be the opening or the comings and goings of craft and that sort of thing. So
That's my theory as well. It's either something that's just entering or leaving because it's a bright, bright flash right in the middle of nowhere. And
Did the
it's
flash,
consistent. So
did the
we see
flash
it
kind
like
of have
several times a night.
did the flash have the kind of the color of the old Polaroid flash cubes?
I mean, the bluish tint.
Kind of yeah, bright white, but
It
just a
was
touch
more
of blue.
white than anything
Oh,
else.
it was pure white.
Okay,
It
because
was no.
I've caught two of those flashes on my UFO DAP,
Okay.
system, and I'll send you those videos so you can look at them.
All right. So
Because
how
I'd
they
like
about
to
are,
see them
running?
too, Rob.
yeah, it's really interesting because the camera that I've caught them on are the combination thermal visible spectrum camera, and they don't show up on thermal, but they show up on the visible spectrum.
Yeah, I'd like to see those
Yeah,
videos too.
yeah, I'll send them to you guys.
Do an analysis on it.
Yeah, they're very
Now
interesting.
we did invite Rob too, but he couldn't make it.
I couldn't make it.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll come down. I got nothing to do.
I'm serious. Come on down. We can figure out a time, the four of us, the five of us, or whoever wants to go. I
Yeah.
mean, you can ask Monty. I've got plenty of space here to view that same direction, and everybody
Sure.
can just hang out.
Sure. Hey, just top of my head, you've got your Madar units. Did it register anything?
It did not.
Okay.
Every time it flashes, I always listen to my Madar unit, my node, and it does not do that.
Mine
Uh,
doesn't
I
either.
wasn't sure if Rob's camera was up yet, and that was my going to be my question, but he answered it already. And I'd love to see what you caught because that night it was kind of cold, and we were just kind of checking out things, and we weren't really set up to do video recording or anything like that. Monty was kind of like just testing it out anyway, the area,
I'm
and he
I'm
was looking for something in particular, and so was I. So that's
I'm
how.
looking at what Rob has been doing, but I was looking at those uh UDAP components, and
Mhm.
I was looking to see, prices and interconnectability and like that. And I know you're doing that, Rob, on
Yeah,
I just started looking into it to see what's coming of it. And I thought maybe we could put together a unit for the state.
I just made myself a portable unit that I can carry around
Okay.
and plug into my laptop.
Okay, that's what I was looking at too. The same
So
camera system.
when I come see you, Leon, I'll bring that my laptop and we can set that up and it can
Oh, there you
record.
go.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's remarkable.
Yeah, and if you ever want me to come down with some of the stuff I've got in the little MUFON kit, let me know. I'll come down. I don't work anymore, so hey,
Yeah, I don't either.
yeah,
Yeah, no, let's get together and figure out a date where Rob can come, you can come down, and we can figure out all kinds of stuff and accommodations as well. And we can make it a weekend, we can make it a day or night. I mean, we'll figure it out. We can get it done.
sounds good. Sounds good.
I've got some equipment here. I'm not as fancy as you guys, but as far as Rob's stuff, I'm talking to him, and I was getting at UDAP as well. I just figuring that out. I'd probably get the mobile one that they offer, which is everything in it that
Yeah.
he's got, because I'd want to take it wherever I went to on vacations and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that's what I was
That's
looking at too, and I can't quite pull the trigger on that one yet.
Well, it's the same price as the other units basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, I just got Mama's got to say yes real quick. She'll say yes, but still, I want to be frugal too. So
Yeah, I'm trying to be.
yeah, it sounds great. We got to get together and do that. So it's like, Jonathan, how far are you?
He's in Astoria.
Oh wow, that's way up north.
Yeah. Well,
Love that place.
I figured out that one of the breakfasts I'm going to at the MUFON Symposium, Dr. Nolan will be there, so I'm gonna pick his brain a little bit. Or he'll pick mine. I think it's not a fair match, but
Yeah. Yeah, he's a bright man.
I do have a new camera that gee, it only cost me $79. I can't believe it. But I use I've got one that I set up with motion detection software that catches transient phenomena in the night sky. I can put it on as my image here, but all you can see is every once in a while a seagull flies
mhm,
by. But it does amazing. So far, just a lot of satellites, few meteors,
mhm.
and I got one of those satellites. I've often wondered about that you see a big flash all of a sudden in the sky and wonder what was that? Brighter than any star and just instant. And I finally caught one of being a satellite that was traveling around. I guess it just tumbled just right and the sun glinted off of it. And
Yeah, there's some junk boosters that are in orbit that'll do that too.
a lot of stuff up there. I mean,
Yeah.
you wouldn't believe it. It was just
Jonathan,
pair of night vision or even just regular binoculars and sit back an hour after dusk and an hour before dawn. They're just thousands, it seems like.
Yeah.
Probably are
ex-
thousands.
excuse me, Jonathan, is your camera this type that I'm holding up in front of the camera?
No, no.
This one has infrared.
Well, so's this one. I took the infrared blocking filter out of it. It was easy, just a couple of screws.
Probably a smart thing, because another thing I learned about it is anything uh, with night vision, that software eliminates a whole lot of detail.
Right, right.
This is it. The lens, you can put any C mount lens on it you want, and I've been trying to figure out which is the best one to put on it. I see a lot more with a 50 millimeter old Nikon lens, but it very narrow field of view with that, but a lot more activity. This is 12.5 millimeter f 1.3.
And see that's like a factor of 4 better than a cell phone,
Oh, well, yeah.
at
Uh,
least in clarity.
well, probably. I do a lot of photography and I've got a couple of Nikon cameras that are full frame. They're
Oh,
sensor.
you can't beat those.
Yeah, yeah. Although I belong to a local photographic gallery here, and one evening I was showing off my new Nikon camera and how well it does in low light. And the guy sitting next to me pulled out his iPhone. It was just 1,000 times better. Just shut me right up.
Oh my.
I don't know how they do it, but I guess trickery software.
Yep.
Anyway, that's it. It's only 79 bucks. I couldn't believe it. It's a good deal.
Well, I tell you, all of the experts that I went to, they're all saying, despite the fact that you have to mail your 35 millimeter film to whatever one store in San Francisco develops it on the West Coast, he says it's all worth it because it's still the clearest thing you can use.
Well, I spent a lot of my life in the dark room, so
Mhm.
I don't miss it at all. I like the computers. But yeah, the
Yeah.
day that I was working in a camera store when we started going digital, and the owner said, "Tell me when it's time to switch over to digital." And it's about when you got to better than 8 megapixels. They figured that 8 megapixels was about the same as Kodachrome in the 35 millimeter format.
Yeah, for average pictures it is, but remember you're talking about, cell phone
Yeah,
35 millimeter.
yeah. Well, I even have a 4x5 camera that did astronomy with.
Hmm.
And the telescopes I used to work with, we used 5x7 inch glass plates and 8x10 inch glass plates
Yeah.
versus film.
Okay. Well, does anybody else have anything to share for this evening?
Hmm.
I just got to ask, I don't know if he saw my chat or anything, but ask Rob, did he have his system up on around, let's see here, was it 15th, 14th of May this year?
Sporadically.
All right, about let's say about 9 local PM. It's about 9:04 PM. It seems like there was a rocket that was shot up in the sky near Roseburg. I was just
Oh,
wondering if that's something that your system would have caught.
I was going to tell you, Leon, I'm a member of the National Rocketry
Okay. The
group.
Southern Rocker guy.
Yeah, so I'll check into the local launches for you.
Okay, that'd be great because I reached out to the Southern guys and they haven't answered back yet. So I was just
a lot of our Portland group goes down to Central Oregon and Eastern Oregon, and that's where we launch from.
Around north of Roseburg.
Yeah.
Wow.
That'd be great to find out who did what so I can get verification because I don't like telling my witnesses that this is what I believe it is without having anything backing up.
Yeah.
Like I told you before, I try to run everything like I'm in court. And if I can't prove it in court, it didn't happen or I didn't do my job. So if I could come up with a definitive answer, that'd be
It-
great because in all likelihood, that's what it is, what I thought when I first saw it. And I just like to see if there's any, I know Rob's system will, if it sees something moving like that, it's going to zoom in on it and get
Yeah.
a better picture of it. So,
Yeah,
All
the
I've
only-
been, Leon, it's your gut feeling. It's probably right 95% of the time anyway. So you just have to back up what your gut tells you.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Rob, you saying?
And I
it's-
agree with you on the video though. I mean, it's no question.
I've just found that the resolution at that distance wouldn't be very good.
Okay.
So that whole system is kind of like if you hand somebody an instrument, somebody can make beautiful music and other people can just squawk with it. Well, I'm just past the squawk phase right now. So
Okay.
it's kind of a learning process.
Well,
Car like that.
I see that we're kind of getting technical and we're losing a few people. So let me put in my last minute plug again. Please get your Oregon MUFON stickers by sending me your mailing address and your name. My email is in the chat at the very top. And any contribution to keep us going would be very well welcomed. I don't know if you know or not, but we pay fees every year to keep our state chapter active and also to keep our nonprofit designation going and all these other legal filings that I have to do. So
Do you get any
anything is
kickbacks from
appreciated.
membership?
What's that?
You get any money from memberships?
No. Well, I don't get any membership money because it all goes to national. That's why I was hoping that, we get state donations. I don't get any money from national.
Well, I would think that National will give money to you to keep going.
Nope. I
You
have
have
to
to-
pay them.
That's not right. Uh, we'll get a protest going, like so many protests around here, march up and down the street.
Yeah.
Hey, start a GoFundMe or something.
Yeah, we have to do that. I don't know. I was just hoping to get it from natural donation. There's some, I was telling you, Colorado, those guys don't do Zoom meetings. They go around the state and do person to person ones, and they charge people to come in the door.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah. But, we don't need to do that. So anyway, tell your friends, email me, send you a sticker. Leon got one. I know you did, Leon, right? Yep, good.
Yes, sir, I did.
You need more, let me know. Happy to give them out. Got to keep our group advertised around the state. Reached out to several law enforcement agencies, to Air National Guard, and we still have a real quiet area in southeastern Oregon. They still have a culture where they don't want to report anything. And there's been some cattle mutilations and things going on down there, and we can't seem to get anybody to talk about it unless we pay them TV money.
Welcome, new member Mike.
Yes, welcome, Mike. We finally got you through the door.
I am here and proud to be here.
Yeah, just remember, everybody, when I send out mailings, it's like it goes to 300 plus people. And so I have to do it through that Mailer Lite mass mailing thing. And it goes through a lot of people's junk folders if they don't look to see it. So be careful of that.
And cell phones don't oftentimes, mine anyway, does not have a junk folder.
Yeah, unless you're running Outlook as your main mail receiving program, then it doesn't have a
Yeah.
junk folder. All right, everybody. Appreciate it. Good to see everybody. We'll get together next month. I'll talk about the symposium. Leon's going to give his lecture on what he's been doing.
Good.
And it's been good to see everybody. And Rob, keep working on.
I will do it.
Just remember, you can always look up the answers.
Just give me another week or so. I'll be ready.
Okay. All right, everybody. Good seeing
Don't let
you.
him pressure you,
Keep in
Rob.
touch.
I read
Keep in
through the whole
touch.
thing and did it right. I didn't do the pick and choose and answer
Yeah.
stuff. I read the entire thing and went through.
I
the whole
did too. I was
process.
kind of stupid apparently, but yeah, I
No.
did that too.
To know everything, you've got to do that. You can't just look up stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah. Take your time, Rob.
All right, I'm going to end the recording and say good night to everybody. Have a good month. We'll see you next time.
Thanks,
All right,
guys.
talk to you
Night
soon,
all.
too, Dean,
Nice to meet you.
Rob, and everybody else. All right.
Thanks. Bye-bye.